Okay, so we are back and we are going to try to make some structural connection pieces that are sort of circular to connect all these ribs and then also connect to the socket. So what we can do is we've got our points and our curve right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to probably just split that curve with these points and then array it circularly. And we'll probably split it here. I think in the last video I said let's do two. And let's just do a third one probably right around here. So we're going to split this curve with this point, not that surface, this point. And then again with this point. You know what? I'll just hide these shingles. That's the smart thing to do. And then one here and here. Points. All right. Enter. And that way we've got a curve, and a curve. And then we can array that. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to do a polar array. And we're going to do 10 items. There. And there we go. And we probably don't need all these, but it's just a good idea to have these. We might need them for when we're cutting our surface. So let's just do this anyway. So we're going to hit done. And we've got our curves there. And what we can do is, I'm just going to do a little cleanup action right now. I'm going to select all the curves and move them into lamp geometry. Just so we have them and we can hide them whenever we need to. So now what I'm going to do is pretty straightforward to add those curves. I'm just going to come up to, where are you? Circle. And we can just do 3 points. And midpoint. Oh, thinking computer. And we'll do, well, why don't we work in lamp geometry? And then it really doesn't matter which 3. They should all be the same. And then I'm going to offset that the 1/2 inch. That way it kind of lines up here with that one. And I'm going to do the same thing with these other 3. Midpoint, and midpoint. Boom, boom. Oh, no, not that. That's gross. 3 points. Gross. And then I can do offsets. And you know, that's not exactly intersecting right there. And that's okay. I'm not super worried about it. The reason it's not offsetting right there is because it's not, this line isn't perpendicular, or this circle isn't perpendicular to the curve at that point. What I could do is I can delete that and then I can offset. And let's see here, distance, I can say from this point and hold shift over to the apparent intersection. And then, oh, what? Why didn't you do that? Or did you do that? You're just hiding from me. Yes, there we go. This way. Okay, perfect. I could do that with these other ones as well. Might as well. Let's just do it correctly. Oh, come on. I just keep forgetting to select the option to whether I want it to be on the left or right. Boom. Again, as I discuss what I need to do, I don't do it. All right, cool. So we've got these guys, and you know what? I'm just going to delete all these other little lines. I don't really, they're kind of annoying me. Yep. And they're not really needed because as long as I know I'm arraying everything by 10, it should be all right. All right, cool. So I've got these guys, and what I'm going to do next is I can move my light bulb to the center of this circle. So I can go transform, move, and I'm going to say center of the lip, because that's where it's going to connect to, because this is our ring that will screw up and down. So I'm going to say the bottom edge of this lip is going to align with this center here. So that's where my light bulb's going to fall, which I think is a pretty good spot. And it hides the fixture as well. So now what we can do is we're going to copy that curve. So I can come up here to curve from objects, or curve, duplicate edge. I'm going to select that inner curve there. I'm going to hit enter. And this is a good rule of thumb, is to also just offset that curve by a hair. Again, remember when we were talking about tolerances? So we're going to do like 0.01 or something like that. Something super thin. You see that? So that it, oh, did I not do that? There we go. So that, I did it twice. So that it can just easily slide into that socket, this part. And I'm actually just going to hide my lamp so I can get it out of the way. And I've got this super duper nice setup here. And what I need to do next is, I'm not going to make this a solid object. I need to make some connectors to this. And I think what I'll do is maybe I'll just draw some interesting lines to this so that they're actually also connecting to the ribs, just to keep things nice and easy. So I will just go from the intersection here to this intersection. Another way I could do it is I could flatten this out. I could just, move these circles to the bottom or to the coordinate plane, and then when I go to my top view, I can very easily draw all of this out. But I'm just going to show you a quick method to construct this in space. I'm just going to extend those curves, extend curve a little bit, because I'm going to then offset this curve. Offset, boom. And I'm going to offset it both directions. I'm going to offset it 0.25 both directions, both sides. I don't need it. I can just do flat. And then what I can do is, let's see if I can fillet that edge nicely. Fillet curves. Let's actually array it, because we're going to also array it 10 times, and we want to see what does our new object look like. So we see here that it's gonna almost intersect. It's almost gonna be kind of perfect. We're gonna chop off that inner parts there. But what we want to do is we want to add a little fillet to each of these, and then a fillet up here. So what we can do is we're going to come up here and we're going to do fillet curve. We're not going to trim, we're not going to join. So let's see what we get when we do one with this curve and this curve. And we get nothing. Why do we get nothing? Let's explode these. Oh, it's pretty big. Let's make that a little smaller. Let's make it 0.25 will be good, because then it'll look like consistently thick with everything else. And then we're going to do the same thing on this edge. Oh, you know what? Let's make that bigger. Yeah, let's make it 0.75. I don't like that. I think design-wise, or 0.5, design-wise, it'll be a nice little beefier connection, so it'll look a little sturdier. And then what I can do is I can mirror that one. Sure, center to end point there. And then I can select these objects and I can array them again in a polar form, as long as I'm sticking with the same circle and as long as they're all planar. Should have no problem then doing a curve Boolean on these. Beautiful. And what I'm going to do next is just select all of those objects. Oh, come on now. There we go. I don't need you, point. Not right now. And then I'm going to do curve Boolean. I'll just type it in because it's easy. And I can select the outside, and then I'm going to select all of these inner pieces. Come on, think about it. Rhino doesn't like this. Well, I may have broken Rhino. So what I'm going to do is just wait for this, and if it looks like it's not working, I will come back to it. Okay, so we're back after Rhino took a little bit of a nosedive. Get it? Rhino nosediving? I don't know. I don't want to see it, but it's frustrating for everybody when a rhino goes down. So we've got our connector piece that's going to connect to the lamp socket, and I grouped everything after doing a curve Boolean. And the next step is to put our little slots in. So we're going to do the same method practically, and we're just going to do a line from that intersecting point to that intersecting point. And what we can do is we can do the pipe, or we can do something else. But what we can also, I'm just going to do the midpoint instead. And that way we can just copy and paste that pipe. We were doing 0.03. Oh, yep, that's correct. And there we go. And what we can do is we can extend that out. Let's see, not that way. We're going to do a scale. Because this is our midpoint, we're just going to want to have it stay exactly where it is. Turn my center on to, and bring it out. And then we can copy that from one center point to the next center point. There we go. And it's important to have it out just so you can make sure you make a clean cut. What I'm going to do with this guy now is I can actually just do a planar surface with all of those. Huzzah, look at that, it's beautiful. And this is the one that I'm going to array because this one's going to be cut on the inside because it's going to be slotted inward. And that's a good method of construction as well, is to take your ribs and have them slot in the opposite direction. That way you can, if you wanted to, you can do all your ribs first, and then you can come in and put your shingles in there next. So what we're going to do is array that. I'm going to come up here to our polar array. Just hit the center there, 10, boom, perfect. And then I can select this and split it with all those other poly surfaces. And you know, we only have edit, select, edit, select objects, poly surfaces. We only have surfaces and poly surfaces. I want to deselect you. And I don't know why you're selected, but we'll hit enter. And there we go. And it's got that little surface that will eventually cut away. And we'll do the same process for these other connecting pieces, as well as these arrays and things like that, and on the ribs. So that is it for the construction, the overall construction, because what's next is we're going to just unroll these major surfaces, which we'll see as we start Lab 7. So this is actually the first 3 videos of this, or 4 videos actually, were supplemental videos for just understanding another method of constructing these, constructing the lampshade. And I'll make a couple other videos about how you can construct some other lampshades. But, oh, come on, there we go. So that's actually quite a bit of information that we can use. Oh, is that just barely touching? Wow. Almost perfect. But anyway, see you in the next video, which is the start of your lab.